It's all coming up after the news.
I'm Stuart McIntosh with the BBC News. Hello. The US Vice President Mike Pence says Americans are now safer following the killing of the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani. In an interview with CBS News, he said the US had received intelligence that Iran has told its militias not to attack American targets and civilians, but he said the US would not be complacent.
We're dealing with a country that's been the leading state sponsor of terrorism for more than 20 years. And so we'll continue to be prepared. We'll continue to confront Iran in the way that President Trump has done since early in this administration.
A short time earlier, the head of the US military said it was still too soon to tell if Iran would carry out further attacks on American interests following the missile strikes on US bases in Iraq. The Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his government will make sure a plane crash in Iran involving many people travelling to Canada is thoroughly examined. He said 138 of the passengers on board the Ukrainian plane were travelling on to Canada.
Our government will continue to work closely with its partners to ensure that this crash is thoroughly investigated. Canadians have questions, and they deserve answers. Minister Champagne will be speaking with the Iranian foreign minister and conveying the need for a thorough investigation into this fatal crash.
Iran says it won't hand over the flight recorders to the US or to the maker of the aircraft, Boeing. Britain's royal family is understood to be disappointed and hurt at the decision by Prince Harry and his wife Meghan to step back from their royal duties. The couple say they plan to become financially independent and divide their time between Britain and North America, as well as withdrawing from royal dealings with the media. Richard Fitzwilliams is a royal commentator.
The last royal to voluntarily step down was Edward VIII in 1936, so he could marry Wallis Simpson. This is regarded as infamous by the royal family. Obviously, this isn't the exact parallel, as Harry is sixth in line to the throne. But the way this has been handled, and the fact that a statement was put out apparently without either the Queen or other senior members of the royal family knowing about it, is simply almost beyond belief.
The Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, has announced 2 days of military exercises in February to prepare pro-government militias against a possible attack involving the US and Colombia. The announcement comes after the United States said it was considering new sanctions against the Maduro government following a dispute over control of parliament. On Tuesday, police tried to prevent the opposition leader, Juan Guaido, and his supporters from entering the National Assembly building. World News from the BBC. The World Health Organization says an outbreak of pneumonia in China may have been caused by a newly emerging virus similar to the ones that caused the deadly respiratory conditions SARS and MERS. Nearly 60 people in the city of Wuhan have contracted the illness since last month. The Chinese authorities say their investigations confirm that the cause is a new type of coronavirus. The Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, says his country is a long way from the end of the bushfire crisis. More than 63,000 square kilometres of land have burned so far and 27 people have died. Phil Mercer reports from Sydney.
Parts of eastern Australia are bracing for more dangerous fire conditions. Dozens of blazes are burning in the states of Victoria and New South Wales, and there are fears that hot, windy weather will intensify the threat. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has said the nation was a long way from the end of this crisis. It began back in September and continues to claim lives and destroy property. Vast areas of bushland have been incinerated. The impact on Australia's wildlife may never be known.
Thousands of people in Puerto Rico have been sleeping outside, fearing that aftershocks, which hit the Caribbean island on Wednesday, could signal another earthquake. Many people lost their homes following a series of quakes earlier in the week, and around 1.5 million people, half the population, are still without power. A new report suggests that many alternatives to plastic packaging may be more damaging to the environment. The UK-based environmental think tank, Green Alliance, interviewed leading British supermarkets about the pressure they're under to reduce plastic packaging. It found that common substitutes, such as paper or glass, could actually lead to higher greenhouse gas emissions. BBC News.